How did a land so small, with no mighty rivers or endless forests, rise to become the spiritual heartbeat of half the world? It has no gold mines, no great oceans, yet for thousands of years, this soil has carried the weight of prayers, dreams, and divine encounters. This is the story of Israel and Palestine, a story of faith and fire, of promise and pain, of a land that refuses to fade from memory. Here, the past doesn't sleep. It speaks through every stone, every wall, every whisper of wind that drifts through the valleys. It is a land where the sacred and the ordinary exist side by side, where devotion meets doubt, and where hope keeps rising even from the ashes of history. If you have a little time, walk with us, not just through cities and ruins, but through the soul of a place that shaped humanity's understanding of God, courage, and belonging. This is the Holy Land, ancient yet alive, broken yet unyielding. And at its heart stands Jerusalem, a city like no other, destroyed twice, besieged 23 times, conquered and reclaimed again and again, yet it still stands firm, luminous, eternal. A city sacred to over 3 billion people, where every sunrise feels like the beginning of a new chapter in the story of civilization. Tucked between the sunburnt rocks of the Middle East, Jerusalem rises where the desert kisses the sky, not merely as a city of stone, but as a living riddle wrapped in light and legend. It's small enough to cross in an afternoon, yet infinite in what it holds. Faith, conflict, love, and mystery all breathing together beneath its golden light. This is where heaven and earth meet, where church bells echo beside the call to prayer, and ancient psalms rise from the same streets that have carried prophets, kings, and pilgrims. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, three great faiths, all trace their roots to this sacred ground. Through countless sieges, through centuries of division, Jerusalem still endures, not just in stone, but in spirit. In the trembling hands that reach its walls, in the tears that fall between the cracks, in the unbroken hope that humanity still holds for peace. Within the walls of the old city lies a world divided into 4 quarters, yet connected like veins flowing through a single sacred heart. Here, faiths intertwine, and history hums beneath the footsteps of pilgrims and locals alike. The Jewish Quarter. For the Jewish people, Jerusalem is not just a city, it is a promise, a heartbeat that has never stopped. It was here that King Solomon built the first temple, believed to be the very dwelling place of God among humankind. That temple was destroyed by the Babylonians in 586 BCE, yet its spirit still endures. Today, all that remains is a single ancient wall, the Western Wall, or Wailing Wall, standing as both a remnant and a reminder. Every day, men and women from around the world gather before its stones. They whisper prayers, weep quietly, and slip tiny folded notes between the cracks, messages to heaven carried by hope itself. More than stone, this wall is an unbroken symbol of faith and resilience, a bridge between the earthly and the divine. The Christian Quarter. To Christians, Jerusalem is a living pilgrimage, a sacred landscape of footsteps once walked by Jesus Christ himself. It is here that he shared his final meal with his disciples, prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane, and carried his cross through the narrow, crowded lanes of the Via Dolorosa, the Way of Sorrows. Each step tells a story of love, suffering, and salvation. At the heart of this faith stands the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, one of the holiest sites in Christianity. It is believed to contain both Golgotha, where Jesus was crucified, and the empty tomb, where he rose from the dead 3 days later. Inside, the air feels different, thick with incense, murmurs of prayer, and the sound of tears quietly falling onto ancient stones. Every pilgrim who bows before the stone of anointing feels as if time itself pauses for a moment, suspended between grief and grace. The Muslim Quarter, vibrant, colorful, and alive with energy. The Muslim Quarter is the largest of the four. Its narrow alleys are filled with bustling bazaars, the aroma of spices, and the rhythm of everyday life echoing beneath the minarets. For Muslims, Jerusalem holds a sacred place in the heart of faith. According to the Quran, it was from here, from a sacred rock on the Temple Mount, that the Prophet Muhammad ascended to the heavens during the miraculous Isra and Miraj. To honor this event, Muslims built the breathtaking dome of the rock, its golden dome glimmering like a sunrise that never fades. Visible from nearly every corner of the city, it stands as a symbol of divine light and eternal devotion, a spiritual compass for millions across the world. The Armenian Quarter, and then quietly tucked away behind ancient walls and shaded courtyards lies the Armenian Quarter, the smallest, yet one of the most enduring communities in Jerusalem. They are not loud, nor do they seek recognition. But within their monasteries and churches, the Armenian people have preserved their language, rituals, and traditions for over 1,500 years. Their presence is like a soft, steady flame, unwavering through centuries of turmoil. In a city often defined by division, the Armenian Quarter reminds us that strength can also exist in silence, patience, and faithfulness. Every stone here tells the story of a people who never lost themselves, even as empires rose and fell around them. Together, these four quarters form the living mosaic of Jerusalem, distinct yet inseparable. Each faith, each community adds its own rhythm to the eternal heartbeat of this sacred city. It is a reminder that even in the midst of difference, humanity shares one prayer, the longing for peace. As the golden sun sinks low, painting the sky in hues of crimson and amber, the journey turns toward the endless Judean desert, a place where silence speaks louder than words. Here, the Dead Sea glimmers like liquid glass, floating at the Earth's lowest point. Step into its calm, salty embrace, and you'll discover something magical, water so buoyant that even gravity seems to surrender. It's not just a sea, it's a natural wonder, a symbol of stillness and renewal. Nearby, ancient trails whisper the stories of prophets and kings, and rugged cliffs guard secrets carved by time. The landscape feels untouched, vast, spiritual, and hauntingly beautiful. Just beyond, rising from the desert sands, stands Masada, a fortress of freedom and courage. Its stone walls echo with the spirit of resilience, a place where history and heroism merge beneath the desert sun. From the top, you see everything, the Dead Sea shimmering below, and the wilderness stretching endlessly to the horizon. This isn't just a place to visit, it's a place to feel, to breathe, to understand how small we are against nature's grand design. Bethlehem, located just south of Jerusalem, Bethlehem is a small city that holds immense significance, both religiously and politically. According to Christian tradition, it is the birthplace of King David, the legendary ruler of Israel. More importantly, Bethlehem is believed to be the birthplace of Jesus Christ, an event that forever changed the course of human history. For this reason, the city is revered as the cradle of the Christian faith. At the heart of modern-day Bethlehem stands the Church of the Nativity, built in the 4th century by order of Emperor Constantine. Beneath the main altar lies the silver star, marking the exact spot where Christ was born. Each year, hundreds of thousands of faithful pilgrims from around the world gather here to pray, sing, and commemorate the very first Christmas night. Yet Bethlehem is not only a place that preserves sacred light, it is also a city deeply affected by the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Divided by a towering concrete wall more than 8 meters high, separating land, people, and hope. Amidst the cold, grey slabs, another voice emerges, the voice of resistance through art. World-renowned British street artist Banksy has transformed the walls of Bethlehem into a giant canvas, expressing messages of politics, peace, and humanity. Works such as flower thrower, girl frisking soldier, and dove with bulletproof vest have made the world pause and listen. More than just art, they remind us that even in times of war, people can dream of freedom and confront brutality with beauty. The Ark of the Covenant. Amid the ancient legends of the Holy Land, the Ark of the Covenant, also known as the Chest of God, stands as one of the most sacred and mysterious religious symbols in human history. According to the Hebrew Bible, it was a gold-covered acacia wood chest that held the 2 stone tablets inscribed with the 10 Commandments given by God to Moses on Mount Sinai. It is also believed to have contained a jar of manna, the heavenly food, and Aaron's rod, the staff of Moses' brother. Atop the ark were 2 golden cherubim, forming the mercy seat, the place where the divine presence of God was believed to dwell whenever the ark was present. To the ancient Israelites, the ark was not just a holy object, it was the physical manifestation of God's presence on earth. It was housed in the Holy of Holies, the innermost chamber of Solomon's temple, where only the high priest could enter, and only once a year on Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. Beyond its spiritual significance, the ark was also regarded as a divine weapon. In many battles, when the ark was carried into the field, the Israelite army believed they were under God's protection and often emerged victorious. Yet the greatest mystery surrounding the ark lies in its sudden disappearance. After the first temple was destroyed by the Babylonians in 586 BCE, the ark vanished from recorded history. To this day, it remains one of the most enduring unsolved mysteries in both religion and archaeology. Judean desert and monasteries. If Jerusalem and Bethlehem are places where stories of faith are told, then the Judean desert speaks of the power of silence and unwavering devotion. Tucked into the cliffs of the rugged wilderness, the Saba Monastery rises like a fairy tale fortress carved into stone. Founded in the 5th century by the monk Saba, it has upheld a life of strict asceticism and seclusion for more than 15 centuries. Women are not allowed to enter the monastery. They can only gaze upon it from a nearby hilltop. In today's noisy world, Saba feels like a silent dream, a place where the soul seeks communion with the divine amid solitude. Not far from there lies Jericho, the oldest continuously inhabited city in the world, with over 10,000 years of recorded settlement. Mentioned in the Bible for the dramatic tale of its walls falling to the sound of trumpets, Jericho is also the cradle of ancient agriculture and urban civilization. Thanks to natural springs, the city flourished as an oasis in the desert, sustaining life across millennia. In a land of harsh conditions, Jericho stands as a living testament to the resilience and ingenuity of early human civilization. Don't be too quick to think of the desert as a barren land of sand and death. Desert wildlife, even under the scorching sun and relentless dryness, nature continues to write extraordinary stories of survival. On the steep cliffs, the Nubian ibex, with its curved horns, climbs effortlessly as if walking on flat ground. In the silence of the desert night, the barn owl spreads its wings, designed to fly almost silently, striking prey with ghostly precision. By day, the Egyptian vulture, one of the few animals known to use tools, picks up stones to crack open ostrich eggs. On the ground, the caracal, swift and sleek, can leap more than 3 meters into the air to snatch birds mid-flight. Above them all, the peregrine falcon, the fastest animal on Earth, dives like lightning, reaching speeds of over 300 km/h to seize its target. Meanwhile, the chameleon, perched patiently on a brittle twig, changes color to regulate temperature and signal mood. Its eyes rotate independently, and its tongue, longer than its body, shoots out to catch insects in a blink. All these creatures are proof that life never gives up, not even in the desert. Dead Sea next. We return to the lowest point on Earth, the Dead Sea, located 430 meters below sea level. Despite its name, the Dead Sea is not actually a sea, but a hypersaline lake nestled between Israel, Palestine, and Jordan. With a salt concentration more than 10 times that of regular seawater, no living organism can survive here, hence the name. Yet this place is anything but lifeless. Its rich mineral content creates a fascinating phenomenon. The human body effortlessly floats on the surface. As early as the time of Cleopatra, its black mud and mineral salts were prized for beauty treatments, therapeutic benefits, and relief from joint pain and skin conditions. The Dead Sea is not just a destination, it is the oldest natural spa on Earth. However, nature is not immortal. Since the 1960s, the Jordan River, the Dead Sea's main water source, has been heavily exploited. As a result, the water level has dropped by more than a meter per year, and thousands of sinkholes have appeared, swallowing roads, buildings, and even tourist facilities along the shoreline. Masada, perched atop a remote plateau overlooking the vast expanse of the Dead Sea, Masada is more than an ancient military fortress. It is a powerful symbol of Jewish resistance and the unyielding desire for freedom. Originally built in the late 1st century BCE by King Herod the Great as a luxurious desert refuge, the fortress featured granaries, sophisticated rainwater systems, and formidable defenses, making it nearly impossible to conquer. But what etched Masada into the heart of the Jewish people was the event that unfolded there in 73 CE. After the fall of Jerusalem during the Jewish revolt against Rome, nearly 1,000 Jewish rebels retreated to Masada as their last refuge. Surrounded and facing inevitable defeat by Roman forces, they made an unimaginable decision: mass suicide over slavery. According to the historian Flavius Josephus, their final act was a declaration that freedom was worth more than life itself. Today, Masada is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, attracting visitors not only for its dramatic desert landscapes, but also for its profound spiritual legacy. Every stone, every stairway still seems to echo with the defiance of a people who, even in despair, held on to dignity and resolve. A timeless reminder that even when all seems lost, the human spirit can still stand tall. Negev Desert and Mitzpe Ramon. In the heart of the harsh, arid Negev Desert in southern Israel, a breathtaking spectacle emerges. So surreal, it feels like stepping into another world. This is Mitzpe Ramon, a colossal crescent-shaped erosion crater stretching over 40 km long and 10 km wide. Its towering cliffs and twisted layers of rock are painted in deep reds, burnt oranges, golden yellows, and charcoal blacks, like an ancient, earthbound color palette. Mitzpe Ramon is not a volcanic crater, nor the result of a meteorite impact, though its massive shape and rugged terrain might suggest otherwise. Over millions of years, erosion by wind, water, and tectonic activity wore away the center of a mountain range, leaving behind this vast sunken valley. A dramatic cut across the surface of the Earth. For geologists, Mitzpe Ramon is a natural laboratory ideal for studying the evolution of the Earth's crust. Each exposed layer of rock reveals ancient stories of prehistoric seas that once covered the region, tectonic shifts, and the slow, patient hand of time etched into matter by the forces of nature. Beyond its scientific value, Mitzpe Ramon offers a deeply spiritual experience. In its overwhelming vastness, one feels humbled, dwarfed by nature's raw, silent grandeur. By night, it becomes one of the best stargazing sites in the Middle East. No city lights, only the Milky Way stretched in full silence above a crater millions of years old. Mitzpe Ramon stands as proof that nature, with patience and time, can craft wonders beyond even human imagination without ever needing our intervention. Spiritual landscapes of Israel and Palestine. Our journey through Israel and Palestine reveals that this land is not only steeped in history, but also a place where faith, memory, and humanity have intertwined for thousands of years. Jerusalem, Bethlehem, the Dead Sea, Masada, the Negev Desert, and Mitzpe Ramon. Each site tells its own story, yet together they weave a single narrative of devotion, struggle, survival, and beauty. This is a land where the sacred and the ordinary coexist, where prayers rise above the streets alongside everyday life, and where the past speaks through every stone, every wall, and every whisper of the wind. Where faith, hope, and humanity endure, no matter the trials of history. For travelers who come seeking more than pictures, more than landmarks, more than simple sightseeing, this is a land that touches the soul. Every stone, every sunrise, every prayer whispered in the wind carries the heartbeat of generations. It is a land where history is alive and where the spirit of human resilience is tangible. The eternal message. As the sun sets behind the hills of Jerusalem, casting a golden glow across ancient stones, one truth becomes clear. Israel and Palestine are far more than destinations. They are a living story, a mosaic of faith, courage, and memory. From the sacred walls of Jerusalem to the serene waters of the Sea of Galilee, from the floating stillness of the Dead Sea to the silent cliffs of Masada and the grand expanse of Mitzpe Ramon, Israel isn't just seen, it's felt deep within the soul. Here, paradise doesn't lie in distant oceans or faraway islands. It lives in the desert wind, the holy light, and the quiet peace of this ancient land. For those willing to pause, listen, and open their hearts, Israel and Palestine offer a journey unlike any other, a journey of faith, wonder, and timeless beauty. The Dead Sea Scrolls. Near the northwestern edge of the Dead Sea lies Qumran, where a young shepherd made a world-changing discovery in 1947. Ancient scrolls hidden in clay jars. The Dead Sea Scrolls, over 900 manuscripts dating back more than 2,000 years, include texts from Genesis, Isaiah, and previously unknown writings on laws, rituals, and apocalyptic visions. These scrolls are far more than archaeological treasures. They are a rare window into the spiritual world of the Second Temple period, the very era in which Jesus lived. Through these manuscripts, the ancient voices of prophets, scribes, and believers speak across millennia, connecting the past to the present. Mars Saba Monastery, tucked into the cliffs of the rugged Judean wilderness, rises Mars Saba Monastery, a sanctuary carved from stone. Founded in the 5th century by Saint Sabas, it has maintained a life of strict asceticism and solitude for more than 15 centuries. Women are not allowed to enter, but can observe the monastery from a nearby hilltop, emphasizing the sanctity and seclusion of this spiritual retreat. In today's noisy world, Mars Saba offers a rare, silent communion with the divine. Here, the soul can breathe, reflect, and reconnect amid stone walls and the desert wind. Jericho. The oldest city nearby lies. Jericho, the oldest continuously inhabited city in the world, with over 10,000 years of recorded settlement. Mentioned in the Bible for its dramatic tale of walls falling to the sound of trumpets, Jericho also stands as the cradle of agriculture and early urban civilization. Natural springs allowed this oasis to thrive, sustaining life even in the harsh desert environment. Jericho is living history, a testament to human ingenuity, endurance, and the remarkable ability to adapt to challenging surroundings. Concluding reflections, from the sacred streets of Jerusalem to the floating stillness of the Dead Sea, from the silent cliffs of Masada to the colorful layers of Mitzpe Ramon, Israel and Palestine reveal a land of faith, resilience, and wonder. This is a land where history is alive in every stone, where prayers carried by the wind echo through the ages, and where the natural world thrives alongside human civilization. It is a place that asks not just to be seen, but to be experienced, felt, and understood. For those seeking more than images, more than sightseeing, more than souvenirs, this land offers connection, reflection, and awe. It teaches that faith endures, life perseveres, and beauty can be found even amidst adversity. Israel and Palestine are a living story, a mosaic of humanity, nature, and spirituality that stretches across deserts, cities, seas, and mountains. Here, paradise is not distant. It is present in the desert wind, the golden light of sunrise, and the quiet peace of timeless lands. For travelers ready to explore with their hearts as well as their eyes, Israel and Palestine promise an adventure that resonates deeply. A journey that lingers in the soul long after the journey ends. Top travel paradise, where every journey becomes a story worth feeling.